Welcome to the YU podcast.
Why you have what you need inside of you.
I'm Brandon Yarbrough.
And I'm Jamila Yarbrough.
We are filmmakers, producers, entrepreneurs, husband and wife, parents, and owners of Yarbrough Studios and the Yet Network.
Together, we have shepherded countless projects to completion and are committed to helping others bring their visions to life.
Along this journey, we have had many ups and downs, but one of the greatest lessons we've learned is what we needed was inside of us all along.
Join us as we uncover why you have what you need inside of you.
Welcome to this week's episode of the YU podcast. I thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for joining me. And we thank you all for joining us today.
And so today, what are we talking about?
We're talking about why you have what you need inside of you, but more specifically, finishing.
And what about finishing?
It's good to do it.
Yeah, seeing things to completion.
Yes.
And why it is crucial. Oftentimes we run into roadblocks and different circumstances being be it external or even internal, circumstances that keep us from completing a task, but we're here to give you tips as to how you can complete.
Yes.
And just stories of examples of us seeing things to the finish line and even moments where we didn't see things to the finish line.
Yes, and just unpacking that, like what has gotten in the way, how we overcame those moments. So if you are listening and there's something that you have unfinished that you know you need to finish, listen closely.
Listen closely.
There's a reason why you're tuned in, and there's a reason why we have this message today for you.
All right. Well, kick us off.
Finishing. So what is finishing to you, Brandon?
Finishing is seeing something to completion.
Yes. And why is that important?
It is important because, we are all given tasks, God gives us tasks. And, seeing the thing that he has given us to completion, so that his work is done is very important.
Yes. One of the things we know that we truly believe is that God will give us a vision.
Mm-hmm.
He will give us dreams. He gives us desires, things that we want to do and accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not random, so
it may seem random to us, but it's
right, but it's not. And so everything that he does has a purpose,
mm-hmm.
and there's an intention behind it. And so if he has given you something or given us something, it's for something or someone. It's to serve a purpose.
Mm.
So completing, I think, is so important because it's to serve a greater purpose. Sometimes we think we have this vision or a dream or something or desire, and we think it's all about us. An example for that for me was with First.
Yeah.
I just wrote that because it was a story I wanted to see, I wanted to tell, I wanted to play.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought I was writing it to get that out of me. And then I discovered, oh my gosh, there were millions of people who wanted the same thing,
right?
Who actually received hope from it.
Yeah.
Actually started to believe that they were that type of love was possible for them, that they were deserving of that type of love.
Yes.
So the purpose was so much greater
mm-hmm.
than just merely my desire to write it. And so I think that's important to note because, we are here. We all have a purpose.
Yeah.
And God has a plan for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes those things that he's given to us is to serve a greater purpose.
Yeah. I mean, if we look at like school, any grade, you have to finish in order to be promoted to the next level or the next grade. So finishing is important and crucial to promotion. So even with you finishing first, that allowed for the other projects that we have to come, and so on and so forth. Think about the things that you may be working on or experiencing now, and understanding um, that once you finish, now you have room for the next,
Right.
and you can go to the next level. You can't be blessed when your hands are full.
Mhm.
It's that finishing and that letting go in order for you to receive the next.
Mhm. Yes. Now, tell me this: is what have been some challenges for you,
Yeah.
when it comes to finishing?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I used to be, afraid of putting things out, and care too much what people thought, be it with the music that I made, and um, uh, projects, and whatever it is. I cared what people thought way too much, and that would um almost it would stifle me,
Mhm.
from finishing, and it was so much easier to just stop, and let that fear set in, instead of pushing through the fear, and really really pushing through to the other side of fear, and completing that thing. you
Yeah.
know um there have definitely been countless occasions um before you and I, even in our relationship as well, different things that uh may have been started, and because I didn't clearly see the end, or there was fear, or whatever the case may be, and things not being completed.
Mhm. When you
hmm
find yourself in those moments, what do you pull from?
um I think having accountability partners, so like yourself, you often, all right, you just put, hey, you got to do this, you got to do this, and you just keep saying it until it gets done. Just it's the truth.
It is the truth.
You keep saying it. I'm like, dang, the only way she's gonna stop saying that is if I just push through and get this thing done. And at that moment, it's not even fear anymore. It's like, oh my gosh, let me just finish. So yeah, but it works. But is you holding me accountable.
Mhm.
I may not necessarily want to um, hear those things. I just got to get over it. And it's good. It's good to have accountability partners and people that are on your butt, and like, yo, did you write your thing? Did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? Have you done this today? Um, and and God puts those people in our space, in our place, um, in order to push us
Mhm.
to the next level. It really wasn't until meeting you and marrying you, until where I elevated, everything about what I was doing, what I was touching. Yeah, it was dope, but it didn't really become dope. Like, oh my
With the oh,
god,
oh, oh,
yeah, it's
oh,
like 16 O's. Dope, until we got married, and the elevation in every area, in finances, and in everything. Um, but
It
it go ahead.
I was gonna say is a couple interesting things for me there because one of the things just looking on, and observing and seeing how you were already dope with 16 O's, but seeing that part of it where when it came to creating stuff of your own, you starting and not finishing, um, and, um, not quite, at first not understanding why,
Mhm.
because of how talented you are, that literally you have everything you need to
All inside of me.
yes, all to
That's
say
funny.
um, but then recognizing that there was fear there, and with that also came pushback. And so, now you're appreciative of it, but in the moments of
Yeah.
of the pushing, not
Mhm.
so much so,
Right.
and having to be okay with that even on my end, and also being sensitive to when it's a moment to push and when it's not a moment to
Mhm.
push.
Mhm.
And I know, one of the things we've talked about is how we've kind of experienced finishing a little differently.
Mhm.
While you It's interesting, while you at times would get paralyzed by fear, I would push even harder when
Mhm.
when fear comes.
Mhm.
Sometimes to the point of, okay, you just need to sit down and rest,
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
So one of the things, I think, the lessons I've learned with finishing, because for the longest it was spoken to me, and that I was a finisher.
Mhm.
If something, whether it be producing something, creating something, no matter what it is, I'm gonna finish it.
Mhm.
And then God put me in a position of something where I could not finish. And I think what he was helping me to see is not by my own strength.
Right.
That I have been operating so much out of my own strength and taking pride in finishing
Mhm.
things by my own strength. And at this next level, honey, if you're gonna reach the heights that he's called me to reach, I had to be able to say, not it's not by my own strength.
Absolutely.
And I think I had to experience, not be it's almost feeling like I could not finish
Yeah.
something. I couldn't finish it in my own strength. It's
Mhm.
literally by his grace,
Yeah.
And so, sometimes we hear oftentimes, which is true, fakes without works is dead.
Mhm.
Well, I had the faith and I had the works.
Yeah.
But what I had to recognize was his grace,
Mhm.
and that,
Yeah.
I need him in order to do it,
Yeah. I think
you know?
that's really good. As you were talking, I was just thinking about the moments that fear set in and I didn't finish things, were times that I felt like I was doing it by myself,
Yes.
and um in my like you said, in my own strength,
Mhm.
and I'm looking at the poster for Amazing Vitas, and then even
Yeah.
first, like stepping into first, which was our film, um, one of the biggest projects that we've had through
Mhm.
our production company to date, and putting up our own money and everything. There was fear there, but it was different because we were doing it together,
Yes.
and and we pushed through. We did one step at a time. When things didn't look like they would work out, we
Mhm.
really leaned on our faith, and
Absolutely.
everything worked out. Hey, with the Vetus project, when I got the call for that, to direct that, I was like, "How am I gonna do this?" And it's a true story about the family, um and the family is here, and they're expecting something, want to see something. So there was a lot of weight, but and there was fear there, like, "Oh man, am I gonna deliver or
Mhm.
drop the ball?" But leaning on you, leaning on our faith, leaning on the team that was around me. We just put it was one foot in front of the other,
Mhm.
and we got the thing done.
Mhm.
What's that saying? Fear is just was it false evidence appearing real?
Yes.
Listen, it really is false. Once we keep pushing, you see that thing that you feared wasn't real at all, or that
Yes.
mountain that you thought was so big is actually just a little speck of sand.
Yes.
But far away, it looks like a huge mountain, but as you get closer and closer and closer to it, it's so small that you
Mhm.
literally step over it.
Yeah, and one of the things you're saying is don't be afraid to face your fear,
Mhm.
like, face it head on.
Yeah.
And with God, all things are possible, truly,
Yeah.
And so it's like really trusting him in the process, even though whatever may be at hand may be so much bigger than what you yourself feel like you can accomplish.
Mhm.
Trusting him allows you to keep taking those steps,
Yeah.
even though you might not know
That's it.
what where the floor is, where it's gonna
Right.
meet you, but you still take a step. So you might not know where the resources are coming from.
Yeah.
You might not know what you're doing.
That was
And I think that's one thing that I've learned, like, still keep moving forward
mhm.
because as you move forward, God will orchestrate people to come to help. You know,
Yeah.
as you move forward, you will start learning the questions you need to ask
Yeah.
even.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was gonna say next, and you took the words right
Yes.
out of my mouth. Um, that, you may not know, and the fear of not knowing.
Mhm.
There's so many times where we want to know, you know, okay, what's happening next? What's gonna happen next? Where's this coming from? Where's this coming from? Where's this coming from? Instead of just going and even starting,
Yes.
like, sheesh, you may be able to there's different stages of the fear sometimes. It was this podcast was about this episode about finishing. We talk about fear, but it's getting through the fear in order to
Mhm.
get to the finishing. But you can have fear that holds you from starting.
Right.
The fear of the unknown. Where is this thing going to go? How's this going to happen? Am I good enough? That all those the lies and the questions that come up that you know, yes, you have what you need already inside of you. There's also fear. Okay, yes, you push back past that, but the fear of even just in the you've already started the thing and you're going through and you're working on it,
Mhm.
and it's still fear of not knowing. I don't know how this thing is going to come together, or what if it isn't good enough, and
Mhm.
um, so on and so forth. So there are so many different ways that can try to creep in, but holding true to your
Yes.
faith and
And I will say every major project that I have done,
mhm,
I've had that moment of once I was in the thick of it, looking up and saying, "Why the heck did I think I could do this?"
mhm,
Seriously, like it was so big, so much bigger than me, where I was like, literally the moment of because I was moving so much in faith at times,
mhm.
the moment of looking up like, what was I thinking?
Yeah,
you know? And every time I think sometimes that is confirmation that God has called you to something
right.
because he called you to things that when he is a necessary element,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Those are the moments where I know that I need him in order to finish.
Mhm,
That I need more faith in order to finish. That I need and
mm,
every single time he comes through
yeah,
with whatever, be it resources, be it people, be it no matter what it is, every single time.
mhm.
But I have always gotten to that point of like, what was I thinking?
Right,
You know?
right.
And and I think that
It's bigger than you.
I think that's evidence. I honestly think that's evidence that he's called you to it,
Yeah.
because whatever he calls you to will require him to finish.
Mm,
And sometimes we want to have all the pieces and the of the puzzle
right.
and have figured it out
Yeah, yeah,
ourselves.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And when that's the case, it's too small,
Jeez.
you know?
Mm,
And so we
yikes.
just want to encourage somebody who might be right there at this very moment where
Yeah.
they're like, "What am I doing? Why did
Yep.
I think I could do this?
Mhm.
Am I crazy?" No, you're not crazy. God has called you to it.
Yep.
And as you continue to move forward, he will send the resources and the things that you need.
And it becomes easier and easier as you approach the finish line.
Mhm.
It may seem hard, but as you keep stepping, keep putting that one foot in front of the other, as you approach the finish line, it becomes easier and easier. And you look back and I mean, our example is for the movie. Getting to the finish line of shooting was one, production was one. Getting to the finish line of post production
Mhm.
was a whole nother thing. It almost like everything started over
Mhm.
after we wrapped production. Going back to the starting line of post production. Um, But as you get closer and closer and closer, it gets uh, easier. You know,
Sometimes.
the load gets lighter.
Yeah. But I will say sometimes it gets darkest before the dawn.
Mhm.
That's a real
Mhm.
thing.
Mhm.
Sometimes it does,
Mhm.
you know? And but what becomes second nature is trusting.
Mhm.
You know, what can become, and I think that's what has happened for us
Mhm.
in moving, and what God has called us to do,
Mhm.
you know, and recognizing that we are capable of finishing through him, and that we do have what we need inside of us, and God will also bring those other things that are necessary
Yeah.
to see it into completion.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting even talking about finishing the process of finishing this podcast.
Yeah.
'Cause we started this about a year ago,
Right.
and just with, having so much on our plate
Mhm.
from just responsibilities with family, with work, with XYZ, all the things. But yet here we are.
Yet here we
Here
are.
we are finishing.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's happened in the time that we expected it to happen or in the way that we had planned it to happen, but we are
That's a whole nother thing. Expectation.
completing it. Yes.
Yeah. You may expect it to happen in a week or month, a
Mhm.
year, X amount of time. But God's plan is so it may be a little bit different than your plan,
Yeah.
but the fact is as long as you finish,
Yes.
you know, that's
Yes.
that's where it really counts.
Yes. And learning to discern when and what he's doing in a moment, you
Mhm.
know? If he's telling you to push, if he's telling you to sit it down, if he's telling you to, pick it back up, go harder,
Yeah.
I think that is important because or even like us, it's we just knew for this podcast
Mhm.
that he had told us we got to do these episodes.
Yeah.
This is part of our what needs to be released this year.
Yeah.
And so we just had to say, no matter what, we're gonna figure out how to get it done.
Listen, no matter a 3-year-old yelling in the background or what,
Yes.
gotta get it
And
done.
now we're actually, so in another thing that we got a baby, another baby
Yeah, got another
in a
baby.
month on the way.
Jeez. Probably actually by the time this episode comes out,
Yeah,
he may very well
he will probably be
be
here.
here. Oh my gosh. That's
Um,
crazy. Yeah, and that'll be a whole nother finishing. We
yes,
started the process of pregnancy and finishing it. We out here finishing things.
yes. But the no, but even you bringing that up, oftentimes, birthing a vision is can be compared to giving birth
Yeah.
because of what the process that you go through, and carrying and the labor that is required,
Mhm.
in birthing the vision,
You're right.
the labor pains that come, and um and also, some of the challenges that can come along the way, whether it be things unexpectedly
Yeah.
come,
Yeah. Yeah.
that can discourage you.
Yeah.
But seeing it through to birthing your vision,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And it's not coincidence that we are at this point of in our pregnancy, um, and birthing our son, that we're talking about finishing.
That's great. That just was reminded of the verse in the Bible. We're gonna pull out the Bible every now and again. But Habakkuk 2:3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry.
Amen.
Uh,
Yes.
It just popped in my head.
And, yeah, I mean, that's a real thing, though it literally says, though it seems like it's not it's gonna take some time,
Right.
know
At the
that
end, it will speak.
yes,
At the end, it will speak,
yes,
and you will finish.
yes.
Um, what are some if we have some, like, some tips or some, bullet points, folks can take away, um, how they can finish. Um,
Mhm.
I'll start. One of them for me is having an accountability partner.
Yes.
Somebody that is there to uh, kick you in the butt. It's almost like, okay, no, why are
Be
you
kicking your
laughing?
butt. I be kicking your
Yeah,
butt.
you do kick my butt. It's almost like a coach. You know what I'm saying? You go to the gym. I mean, go to the gym. She's been talking to me
That's
about
another way of kicking.
getting back in the gym and working out. But yeah, you have a coach, or a trainer, somebody that's some people do, not everybody, but um, a lot of people have trainers. You have trainers, somebody there to help you achieve your goals and help you finish. Um, so having that person is important in every area, that accountability partner. All right, maybe have check-ins weekly, monthly, bi-monthly, whatever works for you, and you can be accountability partners for each other. It doesn't just have to be one way, but I think having that person um, is important.
Yes. Um, yes, I agree completely. I think also, um, I think making sure writing the vision,
Mm,
making it plain, making it so clear of what it is that you are believing for or
mhm,
doing, like really spell it out in detail.
mhm.
And then break it down step by step on how can I move forward.
That's good.
And start to accomplish this. And it takes take a step at a time,
Yeah,
and
that's good.
don't despise the small steps,
Yeah,
you know? They are huge. Take a
exactly.
step at a time, and you'll be so surprised even if cuz sometimes we want to skip to step 10 cuz we're like, "Oh, I don't know how am I going to do step 10? I might as well not even start."
Mhm.
Just start with step 1, and as you
Yeah,
take it step by step by step, I promise you God will send help. He will
yeah,
send resources. He will send more. He will teach you more,
yeah,
and you will start to learn what questions even to ask as you go forth.
yeah.
You will start to learn what to pray to Him for.
Mhm,
Like, Lord, I need help in specifically this area.
mhm.
And so I think
Hmm.
part of it is literally making the vision so plain,
Yeah,
and then start step by step by step by step
yeah,
and working on that. And sometimes if you don't have an accountability partner, make a schedule.
yeah. Making a schedule is
Make
good.
a schedule, and hold yourself to that,
Mhm,
you know, and then also I think feeding yourself in the word is very important
mhm,
because there are times where you may be doing everything quote unquote right, where you are doing the steps and working hard towards it, but it's still not happening in the
mm,
way you want it to. And I've been there. And what I realized now is that God had a different timing for the completion of that vision.
mm.
And so it's so important to feed yourself with the word of God during those times because um, you know, though the vision tarry, wait for it.
Mm.
You need those scriptures because it will strengthen you, it will fortify you, it will give you um it will renew your mind, and give you the strength, the stamina to remain
Yeah,
at it or to believe in it even when it looks the opposite.
Mm.
And so you want to be in a place such that when those times come, what is a part of you is the truth,
Yeah.
which is the word that is going to happen. God is going to see it into completion. And not and not the chatter,
Yes.
not the doubt,
Mhm.
not the pity,
Mhm.
all the other traps. And so feeding yourself with the word is very important.
Yes.
If you tuned in today, we really believe it's for a purpose. That if you have a vision, if you have a dream, if you have an idea, something, a business idea, no matter
Mhm.
what it is, know that you can see it to the finish line.
Absolutely.
No matter what comes, no matter what roadblocks or delays
Mhm.
come, just know that not only do you have what you need inside of you, but know that God will equip you. He will lead you in the way that you can go to get it done. And be prepared, be open to learning.
Yes.
Sometimes we learn through failure too.
Absolutely. That's the biggest learning lessons when
It
you fail.
it is. And so we don't have to look at it like failing, is looking at it an opportunity to
Mhm.
grow, and so don't allow fear of failure
Yeah.
to stop you. Don't allow fear of not even feeling like you're enough
Mhm.
to stop you.
Mhm.
Fear of getting it right
Right.
to stop you.
Yeah.
Move forward
Mhm.
in that vision, in that idea, in that dream, in that goal. Make steps every day. Don't allow the fear of what could be stop you
Yes.
from doing what you are called to do.
Yes.
And so I do believe that if you're listening, this is for you. And God has called you to finish.
Yeah.
He has called you to finish. And we're excited to see the completed version of whatever it is that God has given you to finish.
All right, y'all. We'll see you at the finish line.
See you at the finish line.
I'm Brandon Yarbrough.
I'm Jamila Yarbrough, and this is
Why You Podcast.
Why You Have What You Need Inside of You.
All right. See you next time.